The JBL Link Bar promises Android TV in a soundbar. It's kind of the first of its kind. I reviewed the whole setup, including the attached subwoofer, on All About Android this week. That review is up next.
This is Twit.
This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Mint Mobile. They cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month with their 3-month introductory plan, and get the plan shipped to your door for free at mintmobile.com/hot. All right, so on the table here, you can see the JBL Link Bar. You may remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, I brought the JBL Link Bar on the show and did kind of like a first look. I had just received it that night, took it home, hooked it up to our setup at home, and I've been using it ever since. Not just me, by the way, my family. So it's been a journey. It's been an experience.
New Taylor Swift album getting a lot of play at your house on this thing, I'm thinking.
Yeah, you would be right, actually.
Hey.
The girls, they love their Taylor Swift. Anyways, usually soundbars are just kind of soundbars, right? And they might have like an HDMI input in it. The Link Bar, of course, has multiple HDMI inputs in it. It has an HDMI ARC output, which, I routed to my TV, controlled my TV via the remote, which I actually have here, to power it, and as well as change the volume and everything, which was nice as well. The thing that sets the JBL Link Bar apart from other sound bars is that it has Android TV running inside of it, and it also has Assistant built into it. So even when your TV is off, you can still fire off Assistant commands to it. Although I noticed that in my house, with other Google Homes throughout the house, they would usually pick up the command before the Link Bar.
Usually mute.
Oh, don't get me started on that topic, by the way. I'm at a war with 3 of my Google Homes over which one should be answering and which one doesn't. And now, I'm sorry, I don't want to take away from this review, but I could go off on this. But anyway, carry on.
Yes. So let's start with the design. I would say the design was great. It fit into my setup really nicely. It's a 40-inch soundbar. It has a pair of 0.8-inch tweeters, 4 1.7-inch by 3.2-inch full-range speakers. So it's got, this whole array of speakers throughout, 100 watts of maximum power. I felt that it got pretty darn loud when I needed to really push it. Like I said, 3 4K HDMI inputs. We used those to drive my PlayStation 4, and then a Shield TV, which, yes, it's nested Android TV devices. We'll get to that in a moment. And then that 4K HDMI ARC output to my TV, which worked really well. It also has a TOS Link optical audio input. It has a privacy switch mute button. So if you want to mute the mics on board, you can do that. Ethernet, of course. Inside, you're going to find a quad-core A53 with 2 gigs of RAM, wireless support up to 802.11 AC on 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands. Bluetooth 4.2 support works really well, and I'll test that out here in a second. We can wow you with the subwoofer, which I will talk about in a moment. And 4 gigs, oh man, this is the painful part. 4 gigs of storage with absolutely no way of expanding that. There's no expandable storage, no USB port other than a service USB port on the back, but that doesn't give you the ability to connect any sort of external storage in any way. So really the only way you're going to add storage to this is some sort of network attached storage option through Android TV. And that doesn't really get you the ability to install a bunch of Android TV apps beyond the 4 gigs of storage right out of the box. So that's a huge downside here. Android TV is, it's flexible, and you want to have the storage space to install whatever you want to install, and you're going to run into that eventually. It is running Android TV 9.0 Pie out of the box. As far as the sound itself, of course, it's a soundbar. How does it sound? I thought it was plenty loud, like I said. I'd say maybe it sounds a little bit flat out of the box, but there are some included sound modes that help out a little bit in the Android TV UI. You can select, for movie or music or voice. You just have to go into the settings in order to get there, and you can do that relatively easily. Stereo imaging on a soundbar is, I feel, never really that great, right? Because it's a limited distance, and you're trying to drive stereo sound into a large room, which was the case at our house. Not drastic, but kind of what you expect from a soundbar, and I thought it sounded reasonable in that regard. This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Mint Mobile, the wireless company that provides the same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile cuts the overhead, then passes the savings directly to you. Get your new wireless plan with unlimited nationwide talk and text for just $15 a month with our 3-month introductory plan, and get the plan shipped to your door for free at mintmobile.com/hot. That's mintmobile.com/hot. One more time, mintmobile.com/hot. So now I'm going to do the crazy thing here. I'm going to lift a subwoofer onto the table and hope I don't break the table, because this bad boy,
it's been separating me and Jason.
This thing is huge. So this is the paired sound. Sorry, I won't be able to look at you
there's an exclamation point on the side. That's all I wanted to.
It's yelling at you. This is an optional subwoofer. This so you're going to pay extra for this. Does a really great job of filling out the low end. That's what it's all about. The soundbar on its own without the subwoofer, it sounds fine, but then when you add the subwoofer, it rattles the room. Like, this thing sounds way better than the subwoofer that I actually have in our system at home. Super easy wireless pairing. There's literally just a button on the back of this wireless subwoofer and a button on the Link Bar that when you press them both, they find each other, and it was like as easy as could be, as well as controls over how intense you want the subwoofer sound to be. But it was really great watching some movies and just hearing things rattle through the subwoofer and making me realize, dang, my subwoofer is not very good compared to this one. There is no option to include satellite surround speakers, which I find to be a really big downside here. All in with the Link Bar and the subwoofer, you would spend around $700, and that's for stereo in the front and a subwoofer with no surround in the back, and I feel like that's a huge disadvantage.
That's in the high end.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty pricey package when you're including the subwoofer, which I would say if you're getting the soundbar, get the subwoofer. You will not regret having the subwoofer. It really helps. But yes, it's a gigantic piece of gear here. As far as performance, Android TV, I would say felt snappy enough, perhaps not as snappy as the Shield TV, which has years old hardware, by the way. Also streams 4K video, not HDR through Android TV yet on the Link Bar, but I know that's coming. Assistant I found to be kind of slow at times. You'd fire off an assistant command and it would take a little while, or it'd be completely stumped and it wouldn't do the thing that you want it to do. But you can use assistant to control your TV, turn up, turn down volume. When you switch to other inputs, assistant will still appear over the top of those inputs. So you could be in your PlayStation and assistant will appear over the top. So it does some neat things. It's just kind of slow. Mm-hmm. One of the big downsides is the fact that you cannot add this to a home group for speakers.
Really?
So you can fire off like music to this directly, but if you say, "Hey G, play this album on all rooms, on all speakers," it will not include this as part of that package.
That's a bummer.
Big bummer, because that's what I would want most out of this. Is like, this is where I get the best sound when I'm listening to music, and not very easy to do. The remote is not a universal remote, so I could get it to turn on, of course, my TV through the ARC connection, and switching through inputs and everything, but you're still going to live in a multi-remote world unless you have something like a Logitech Harmony to control that. So it could get really confusing unless you have another option, so keep that in mind. And there's no Amazon Prime Video option on the Link Bar. Even though it's available on the Shield TV, it's not available on Android TV on the Link Bar yet. I'm sure it's coming, but it just made for a really confusing scenario. Some of the B-roll that you were playing, Victor, as far as like my smart TV showing its overlay on top of the Android TV underneath it, it's like nested menus on top of menus at times. And that's maybe less a problem of the Link Bar and more a problem of the state of smart TVs right now, where they have their own apps and their own UI that appears over the top, and it just gets really confusing very quickly. In a house of 4 with 2 children who want to watch their Amazing Race on Amazon Prime, it was not easy.
Question for you on the button there. Can you change like how high the voice is to the, the background sound?
What?
So like
explain that?
on my Polk soundbar, I have 2 options to turn the voice up versus
of
the rest
content?
of the sound. Yeah, of the content.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing. There's no controls like
yeah.
that.
Oh, okay.
No deeper controls like that.
So this seems very much like a Android TV focused soundbar.
Yes, it's almost like its purpose is the fact that it's a soundbar with Android TV.
But it doesn't do a
built into
home
it.
group.
It doesn't do a home group,
that's the
which is a
big
huge
bummer.
bummer. Yeah, a very big bummer for me. That was one of my biggest disappointments. The JBL Link Bar is $399. The JBL SW10 subwoofer, $299 extra. So overall, this is a pretty expensive piece of kit. Before I kind of go, and give you my final impression, I'm going to see if I'm connected via Bluetooth here. Just to give you a sense of. Oh boy. See, it's rattling so much. Here, it's on the table. Lift it off so it doesn't quite shake. And,
That was awesome.
I know. It's like thumping. Here, I have to put it back down because it's heavy.
Should have gone with Chumbawamba.
I'm really happy I didn't go with Chumbawamba. Don't you dare speak those words.
I get knocked down.
Yeah, the subwoofer sounds great. So overall, I would say better Android TV performance from standalone devices like Shield TV. If Android TV is your requirement, you're probably going to do better just getting a standalone device, right? And just work it into an input. I appreciate what JBL has done here and what they're trying to do. Sometimes it just kind of felt like it has nice features, but is trying too hard to do too many things. And it's not good at everything. Also, the no surround sound option really limits it per the cost. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on the JBL Link Bar. David, I know Steven reviewed it for Android Police. I think there was some similarities between our reviews as far as that's concerned. Are you interested in this at all?
No. I admit to being a bit of when it comes to speakers, I'm a bit of a sound nerd. So sound bars basically are witchcraft to me. So
Yeah.
I don't like to involve myself with them.
I understand. So yeah,
You basically verified that I made the right purchase because I was going to wait for this to come out so I could get integrated Android TV, but I went with a much cheaper Polk instead, which
Yeah.
came with a subwoofer in it and works on my home group.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a Google
So that's-
Cast. So I said, you know what? I'll keep the Android TV on the Mi box.
Yeah.
And then I just will get something with casting so that I could have the sound in the house because
Okay.
we like to do a home group
Yeah.
for music. So
Interesting.
Yeah, the only way I could fire off is, say, hey, G, play this album on the JBL Link Bar, and then it would fire the music to it. But if I said, play it in the living room, which it was a part of the living room home group,
that's a bummer.
it would bypass it. It wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's so weird. It doesn't see it as a device, and that's fascinating because it's an assistant device, so it should be there.
I don't know if there's some sort of deeper compatibility that needs to be. I'm honestly
Some sort of
I'm
list
baffled
exclusion
by it.
they're doing or something.
But I know
like
it's
that.
not
That's
just
strange,
me.
yeah.
Other reviewers pointed it out as well. It's just a
Wow.
big downside.
Did you set it up through the Google Home app?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. It's all
Crazy.
dialed in there, and because in order for it to connect to your account, you kind of have to do that, and added it to the living room and everything. So, yeah, a little
there
bit
you
of a
have it.
bummer. But if you're going to get it, definitely get the subwoofer. I know that it's even more
Does sound
expensive.
good.
It sounds really good with the subwoofer plugged in, but you could probably find better just all around. So there you go.
Keep up with all the hottest tech news and gadgets. Visit twit.tv. There you'll be able to find and subscribe to all our tech shows. Thanks for watching Hands on Tech.